This is the Anker portable power station SOLIX C300. It's small enough to tuck by a camp chair or under a desk at 646 by 634 by 9.45 inches. And while the spec sheet says about 10 pounds, the balanced handle makes it feel easier to move than the number suggests. The shell feels solid, the seams are tight, and the display is bright and easy to read. I like how clean the front face looks with the ports and screen clustered together, though I do wish the ports had protective caps, because dust and grit are a thing when you travel. Key features are exactly what most folks want at this size: a 288 watt-hour LiFePro4 battery, 300 watts continuous output with 600 watt surge, and 8 total outputs including 3 AC outlets, a 12-volt car socket, 3 USB-C with 1 15 watts and 2 that can do up to 104 watts, plus a USB-A. LiFePro4 means safer chemistry, better heat stability, and a longer lifespan. The rating here is 3,000 cycles, which in plain talk means daily use for years before you notice a big drop in capacity. If W is new to you, think of it like the size of the gas tank. 288 watt-hours is enough to charge a laptop several times, keep phones topped off for days, or run small electronics for a long weekend. From my experience, power delivery is solid for personal tech. I ran a 13-inch laptop, my phone, a mirrorless camera charger, and a small LED light all at once without drama. The screen tells you real-time input and output watts and an estimate of time remaining, which helps you plan whether you're good for the night or need to top off. For context, 300-watt continuous covers laptops, tablets, drones, battery packs, small projectors, and camp lights. It does not cover things like kettles, hair dryers, or most coffee makers. The 600-watt surge helps with startup spikes, but it won't turn this into a mini home generator. In my opinion, that's fine, because this class is about mobility and quiet, steady power for electronics. Charging options are flexible. Using the included AC cable, I consistently saw fast wall charging. I landed near the claim of 0% to about 80% in roughly 50 to 55 minutes in a few runs. Then it tapers for battery health as it approaches full. If you charge by USB-C PD 3.1, a single 140 watts adapter works, but it's slower than the wall. Car charging is the slowest but handy when you're rolling between trailheads. Solar is rated up to 100 watt. With a clear midday sky and a 100-watt panel, I saw between 70 to 90 watts coming in, which is normal because real solar is rarely the number printed on the panel. It's perfect for topping off during a sunny day of camping. Now, a few things that made me raise an eyebrow. The biggest pain point for me is the low current auto shutoff behavior. The unit appears to cut power on a port if the draw stays under a very small level for a prolonged time. That sounds smart on paper because it saves the battery, but in practice it turned off a tiny travel router I use that sips power, and it also shut down a little reading light at its lowest brightness. On a road trip, that was inconvenient because I had to babysit it or keep a second device drawing more power on the same port so the station stayed awake. This is exactly the sorting firmware should let me adjust in the app with a keep alive option. Speaking of the app, setup is simple and the live readouts per port are helpful, but I'd like stronger connection controls. On my unit, Bluetooth pairing felt too open. I never had an issue in the wild, yet I still think a PIN or approval prompt would be better when you're in a crowded campground or co-working space. A quick add-in software would address this nicely. Another quirk, pass-through power. I tested it with the wall cable plugged in and devices pulling power. It will charge itself and power gear at the same time, but I wouldn't use it as a true UPS for critical equipment. In my tests, there was a brief handoff that wouldn't be ideal for something that can't tolerate even a short blip. If you need UPS-grade continuity for a desktop, this is not the right tool. Solar was a mixed bag. Most days it worked fine, but I ran into a few sessions where the station took longer than I expected to handshake with the panel, or it stalled when clouds moved in and out. Unplugging and replugging usually cleared it. Also note the brand's own guidance. Don't pair it with certain panels like SOLIX PS30, PS200, or PS400. I'd stick to a known good 60-watt, 100-watt panel and manage expectations with changing sunlight. Thermals and sound are great. The fan rarely spun up for me indoors, and outside it was easy to forget the unit was on. The 25 dB claim lines up with what I heard, basically a whisper in a quiet room. Build quality impressed me too. Nothing rattles, the buttons have a reassuring click, and the screen is legible even in daylight if you angle it right. From a daily use standpoint, the interface is straightforward. Tap to enable AC, tap to enable DC, watch the icons light up, and read the runtime estimate. If you're new to this stuff, watts are how fast energy is used. If a laptop draws 60 watts, and the screen says you've got 180 watts of output going to different devices. You can roughly divide the battery size by that draw to estimate hours remaining. The station does the math for you in real time, which I relied on more than I expected. I did notice one operational nit. When input power is attached, I couldn't always power the station down to reset a stuck port without unplugging first. It's a minor hassle, but still a hassle. A firmware tweak could let me force a restart without pulling the cable. It's perfect for car campers, photographers on location, students who want a quiet, portable AC source in the library, and anyone building a compact emergency kit for phones, small routers, and a laptop. I'd recommend this for people who value size, quiet operation, and fast wall charging, and who don't need to run power-hungry appliances. If your gear sips power at a super low level for hours and must never turn off, or you want rock-solid UPS behavior for a desktop, this might not be your best fit right now. In my opinion, the C300 nails the fundamentals of portability and everyday charging and gives you modern USB-C power that many older stations still lack. The hardware is strong for the price and size, backed by Life PO4 longevity and a 5-year warranty, and the experience is mostly smooth. I just want the firmware to be as polished as the shell. Let me adjust the low draw timeout, make pass-through behavior clearer, and add stronger Bluetooth authorization. If those tweaks land, it would remove most of my hesitation. In conclusion, the Anker SOLIX C300 is a compact, quiet, and capable power station for personal electronics, short trips, and home backup for small devices. From my experience, it's been reliable when I keep the loads within its sweet spot and charge it from the wall. The quirks won't matter to everyone, but they're worth knowing before you buy, so you can match it to your actual use. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and drop your questions or your own experiences with the C300 in the comments. Thank you for watching.